How's it going, everyone? Today I have a new kind of series for you guys on this channel. I talked a little bit about this on the community tab on my YouTube, just sort of discussing the state of Disney Speedstorm, breaking it down into different sections and just having long discussions about it. Now, I will warn you guys, this video is going to be long and it's just going to be a lot of me talking, so just get comfy, put this on in the background, go push some ranked multiplayer games and listen to me talk about the state of Disney Speedstorm. And today I'm going to be discussing progression. Now, I know progression is a huge topic, there's so much to cover, and so I might break this video down again, revisit some of these topics, but I just want to kind of touch on all the aspects of progression in Disney Speedstorm, what I think about them, what they need to change, because I think we can all agree progression is obviously the thing that needs to be addressed the most in Disney Speedstorm. It's always going to be. It's just the way the game works. Progression is always going to be the thing that demands the most change, I think. However, I will say, I think progression in Disney Speedstorm is the best spot it's ever been in. And that does not mean it's perfect by any means, and you guys very well might disagree with that. But I think looking back from Season 1 to where we are now, progression is in a better spot. I think certain things have gotten worse, such as the Season Tour and limited events, and I think you could argue that these are tied into progression, which they are in a way, but I think overall, just looking at the game as a whole, like the core units of progression, the way you upgrade racers, the way you obtain shards generally is a lot better than it was, 5-6 months ago, and I give huge props to Gameloft for that, because that is not easy to do by any means. So I think with progression, we should start with, the basics. Let's talk about upgrade parts. Now, upgrade parts are obviously the main way you upgrade racers. I'm sure we all know this. And there's a ton of different upgrade parts in the game. I think the most basic ones are the energy drinks. You have your energy drinks solos, which I think you use up to level 15 or 10, and then it's duos and then trios. And honestly, I'm pretty happy with these energy drinks. It used to be a lot more complicated back in early access. We had the racing flags, the cones, the wrenches, the gas cans, the driver's licenses. I'm sure you guys all remember those if you played in early access, but they're gone now and replaced with the energy drinks. And I like having this simpler system much better. Now, one thing I will say about upgrade parts in Disney Speedstorm is I think they could very well go and simplify the system even more. Like the way they condensed it going into early access, where basically they reduced the amount of upgrade parts by half, maybe a little bit more. I think they could do that again. I think we really only need 3 to 4 upgrade parts for racers, right? Like, why can't we just have energy drinks as one? We have energy drinks. We have class specific parts, so Aladdin is bread or something like that, or collection, sorry, and then we have a class one, and then we have a racer specific one. So like if you're upgrading Aladdin, let's say, you're going to need energy drinks, you're going to need loaves of bread, you're going to need pro shades or just shades, whatever, and then whatever Aladdin's unique upgrade part is, and that would be the same for every racer. It's just 4 upgrade parts across every level. Maybe you introduce it so you start out with just energy drinks, then you get to level 10, then you need energy drinks and shades. And then, level 20, you need energy drinks, shades, and bread. And then level 40, you need all 4 upgrade parts. And then obviously the numbers get a lot higher. Like level 1, you only need 1 energy drink. And by the time you get into level 50, maybe you need hundreds of energy drinks or something like that. And I think this would solve a lot of issues with the upgrade part progression in the game, which I'm going to talk about now. And honestly, the biggest issue I have right now is the bottleneck system. It's terrible. Like, I have Disney Speedstorm loaded up, and if we just take a look at my account, I'm just going to click on a random low-ish level racer. So I have Kristoff pulled up right here. I have 1,600 energy drink trios. I have 120 pro helmets, and then 68 troll crystals. And I could easily burn through those other 2 things, but I still have over 1,000 of the energy drink trios. And Kristoff's level 30, but if we go to like Hortensia, who's level 15 on my account, I have 7,000 energy drink duos, and I have 1,500 racer kicks, and then I have 43 of the Oswald and Hortensia upgrade parts. And so I just said I have 1,500 racer kicks, and you know how many pro racer kicks I have? I have 192, and I could easily burn through all of those if I upgraded Olaf or any other speedster I'm interested in. I'm just saving those because I'm worried I might need to upgrade a speedster for the season tour or something like that. But I could easily burn through all of my pro racer kicks, and I would have 1,500 useless normal ones, which I think is a bad system. I think that's really bad, and I think while the ranked changes of being able to get more upgrade parts, like, the energy drink solos, the low level upgrade parts in ranked were buffed exponentially. So now if you play a character in ranks, you get so many upgrade parts, and upgrading them to level 25, level 30 is relatively easy as long as you're actively playing your events, doing ranked, all that stuff. You don't need the help of Racer Boost to get characters to level 25, level 30 anymore, which I think is really, really good. But if you want to get a character past that, it's going to get really difficult. You're going to have to grind Racer Boost, get really high in ranked multiplayer for just little scraps, and you're going to be left with an abundance of low-level upgrade parts because ranked pays for itself and more, so then any other additional parts you get on top of that are just kind of sitting there. And without a conversion system, a way to turn those normal racer kicks into pro racer kicks, or a way where the system is more condensed, where there's only pro kicks or only normal kicks, and then it just gets like the numbers get higher and higher and higher and higher, there's really no good way to balance this system out. And honestly, that's a huge problem for me, is when I play the season tour or limited events now, like for example, the last Ana limited event, they gave out so many ice blocks and so many normal energy drinks. Those are just all useless now after the new rank changes, and I think it leaves the system of upgrade parts in a really poor spot, in my opinion. And again, I think the two solutions are to, one, add a conversion system. Maybe like I can turn 20 racer kicks into one pro kick or something ridiculous like that. Just a way to convert them, I think, would be really nice. And then obviously, it stays that way. So like energy drink solos go to duos and trios, and then, like toy cars go to snow cones or whatever, however the system works. Don't let it be like where you can turn racer kicks into like Aladdin upgrade parts or something like that. Keep it in each respective category. I think that's a given. But just a way to make it so that these low level upgrade parts have value, because right now they're giving out so many of them, and it kind of sucks to just have that many upgrade parts sitting on your account idly. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who feels this way, but I feel like it's a big issue of upgrade parts progression, because now it feels like every season I'm not actually progressing until we get to chapters 8, 9, and 10, because that's when I'm getting the pro upgrade parts, that's when I'm getting the high tier upgrade parts. Until then, like whatever the Little Mermaids is, the ice block equivalent or the bread equivalent of the Little Mermaid collection, yeah, getting a couple of those is nice, but after the first couple chapters, I don't need anymore because I'm playing ranked. I could just play ranked and get all the ice blocks I need. So that means for the first 7 chapters of the season tour and all the limited events they put out, I don't need those ice blocks anymore. And it really sucks. So giving a use to those low-level upgrade parts, I think, is the most pressing matter that the upgrade parts system has currently. Now, building on top of this, I think there are some other issues and some other improvements that they've made. For one, I think we can all agree that Racer Boost is a vast improvement to the game. Having a Racer Boost event it's really nice. I think we can all agree on that. Racer Boost, pretty much how it works is every day you pick a racer and then you get some upgrade parts for them, which will get you a ways to leveling them up. There's bonus characters, there's ways you can reset, but as a general rule, you pick one character every day. You get a shard for them, you get some upgrade parts, and it's a really nice system. There was a big issue that I had in early access. For those who don't know, before Racer Boost, we had these weekly limited events. And the way these limited events worked is it was divided by 2 collections. So like we had I'm trying to remember how the collections were paired, like Mickey and Friends and Jungle Book weekly limited event. And how it would work is there'd be objectives like any other limited event, and you'd sort of have to have a high enough character in both of these collections in order to get some upgrade parts for them, and pretty much you could get enough upgrade parts to level you all the way up to level 40 was how it worked. It was like 30 during early access, and then it was 40 during the Aladdin season. That's when people really started to get level 40 racers, and now Racer Boost obviously gives us the potential to get to level 50, which people have started doing. But overall, my issue with the main system we had in early access was the fact that you could be getting upgrade parts that you didn't need anymore, like in excess, which is sort of the same problem we have now with the season tour, like what I just explained, how there's no use for these low level upgrade parts because of the rank changes. So we sort of have the same system, but that's besides the point right now. It's a big improvement, obviously, because you're not getting all these low level upgrade parts, and it's for characters you actually want. And there was also the issue of every time a new collection got added, they either had to remove it from these weekly events like they did with the Monsters Inc. collection, or add a new event, which I think they did once. And overall, it just wasn't a good system. But now I think the Racer Boost really solves that problem, and I'm a huge fan of the Racer Boost event. Being able to progress whatever character you want all the way up to level 50, even though if it is a slow process, especially for these epic characters, it's a really nice change to the game, and I think Racer Boost is amazing, and we need more things like this where you can kind of choose your progression. You know, I definitely wouldn't mind if they nerfed some of the rewards in the Golden Pass or Season Tour and let us play Racer Boost twice a day or something like that. I think that would be really nice. Obviously, it would call for a huge nerf to progression in other areas, but I think just the freedom of being able to pick what character you want to level up is so nice and underrated. I don't like how Racer Boost locks out certain high rarity characters from previous seasons. For example, right now, Aladdin, Genie, Jafar, Gaston, and Hades are all locked out of the event, but they will be added next season, and I don't see the reason to wait. Like, sure, if they came out this season, don't put them in Racer Boost, but like, we have Jasmine, so why can't we have the rest of the Aladdin crew, you know? Maybe that's just a me thing, but I really think it would be nice to have the entire Aladdin collection available. I think it would definitely be something that they should look into doing, is getting rid of that sort of rarity rule that we have, because I don't see why it's necessary. Maybe there's a reason I'm not thinking of, but overall it just seems kind of annoying and an obstacle that you have to deal with as a player that just isn't really necessary. Now, continuing with upgrade parts and Racer Boost, is we now have the ability to gain epic upgrade materials, which is really nice because this was previously unobtainable outside of legacy boxes and Star Chaser events. So I'm really glad we have Racer Boost, and getting a shard per day means that you can consistently get any character you want to 5 stars, granted after a really long grind, including mid-season racers, which is nice. I still think we need ways to get mid-season racer shards more, but again, that's besides the point right now. I'm trying to focus on upgrade parts. As you can see, I get easily distracted. But I mean, after a complete season of grinding, my Stitch is level 49 on the way to level 50. So maxing out about one character per season if it's an epic racer, a little bit more if it's a rare or common, I think is a solid way to balance it, to go from 40 to 50. And you know, honestly, I'm really happy with the state of Racer Boost, and I'm glad it's in the game. So those are my main thoughts on upgrade parts, but let's sort of switch tracks and talk about shards. Moving on to shards. So there are obviously 2 types of shards in game. We have our racer shards and our crew member shards, and I think there's 2 ways to look at these shards. You have the shards prior to unlock and shards post unlock. And the post unlock system is one that I am very happy with minimal complaints. So after you unlock a character, the ways of obtaining shards are pretty expansive, and honestly, I'm really pleased with how they've treated it. For one, you can take whatever racer you have unlocked, assuming they didn't come out this season or there's not the weird rarity restriction I was just talking about, and you can take them into Racer Boost and earn a single shard for them every day pretty much, or a shard twice, or 2 shards a week, basically, because you're limited to 1 racer a day. But you know, a shard a day, basically, and you get some upgrade parts for them along the way, which is really nice. On top of that, once you have a character unlocked, they will appear in your daily shop for season coins. So like, for example, right now in my shop, I actually don't have any characters for sale, but you know, normally it's like 10,000 coins a shard. It depends on the rarity, a little less for commons, a little more for epics. But yeah, so you can buy their shards in your daily specials, you can grind their shards in Racer Boost, and honestly, if you have a character unlocked and you're committed to getting them to 5 stars, you can get up there relatively fast. Like relative, it depends on how lucky you are with the daily shop, how much you're spending on the Racer Boost resets, stuff like that. But overall, it's a pretty solid system. If you really want to get a character to 5 stars, you can do it, and it's really nice. And on top of that, you have ranked multiplayer too, which is a pretty easy guaranteed, like 20 to 30 shards depending on how far you push in ranked. So you can get a character to 2 stars really easy now, which is something that wasn't always a guarantee in the game, which I think is really good that they've added this, because now you have the racer boost to get those 4 shards that you'd be missing from getting up to platinum in ranked. So I think that's really nice, and yeah, honestly, I'm quite pleased with the way getting shards after you have a character unlocks work. The only change that I would make is the daily shop. I think the daily shop is going to be in big trouble in a couple seasons, and that's because there are 4 slots that are crew / racer shards for every like 4 hours. What is it? However often your daily shop resets, you get 4 chances to get a crew shard or a racer shard, and I think this needs to be increased quite exponentially. I think they should add a whole nother section of shop, like just pretty much double the size of the shop, and the new section should only be crew shards or racer shards. Like 8 more, I think is totally doable. It's something that they should add. I'm okay with it being on a rotation. You need the FOMO to buy season coins before it's out. That's totally understandable and something they should do. But with the amount of crew members and racers being added every season, which like about 20 or so, it really starts to take up these slots. Like, I mean, just looking at my daily shop right now, I have an Aladdin thing, a Lilo and Stitch thing, a Frozen thing, and a Monsters Inc. thing. All of those except Monsters Inc. were not in the game at the start. So, when this expands another couple seasons, the daily shop's really going to start to get cluttered, and if you're trying to look for a specific racer or crew member, it's going to get really hard to find these things in your daily shops and actually progress them. And I think the daily shop is really important to progression. Being able to spend your season coins on a specific crew member or racer that you specifically want is really important and something that needs to stay in the game. And I think we need more opportunities to buy the characters we want, especially with the way things are progressing and how much harder it's going to be to get these specific characters and whatnot from the daily shop. But besides that, again, I'm really happy with the way you get racer shards after you unlock characters. However, I cannot say the same for the way you get racer shards before you unlock characters. And this is a pretty extensive category, and one I could easily do a 30-minute video on just like this, and one that I very well might do in the future, but let's just discuss it a little bit. So I think the main way you're going to be getting racer shards before you unlock characters is the universal box. Now, the universal box, you can spend 10,000 season coins in order to get 3 random shards for any character or crew member. And you can get about 2 million is always the number I say, and I think it's somewhat accurate. I really need to test it more, but 200 universal boxes a season, which I think is a solid amount. 600 shards a season is pretty good. My issue with the universal box, though, is not the amount of shards you get, it's like the specificness of these shards, if that makes sense. Because every season we get an entire new collection added to the universal box, and this is the same issue I have with the daily shop, is that it's going to be harder and harder to get shards for characters and racers you actually want. Like, if I wanted to unlock Belle from the universal box, she has a 0.39 drop chance, and I need to pull 10 of her shards, which is a crazy ask, and it's just not something that's realistic. It's going to take like many seasons. Like, I could run the math, but 0.39% chance, you're not going to be getting Belle shards very often at all. It's going to be really hard to get 10 shards for a specific epic, or like for any racer at that point, besides common. Really, any rare or epic racer is just going to be a pain to get from the universal box. And it's only getting harder every season. New players aren't going to be able to reliably unlock things from the universal box. They're not going to be able to reliably unlock anyone. Not crew members, not characters, not anything. Because getting that volume of a specific amount of shards because you're going to need 5 for crew members and 10 for racers to unlock them. And pulling one shard 10 times from universal boxes is going to take a lot of season coins and a lot of grinding, which really does suck. Because back when I played the game, after my first season where I only opened universal boxes, I had unlocked everything in the game besides certain epic crew members. And unfortunately, that's just not possible anymore. It's going to take 2 to 3 seasons of opening universal boxes, and that number is only going to get larger as the game goes on, unfortunately. So that's one of my biggest issues with universal boxes and the daily shop, is just that we need a way to make it more specific. My solution for the universal box is either A, give us more ways to unlock racers outside of universal boxes, which is what they've been doing, and I think it's a great solution to this problem, or B, give us an alternative way to spend our season coins, but we get to narrow it down. Maybe 30,000 coins for a collection specific box. I've given this idea many times and I still think it's a good idea. Make a box just like the universal box, but you can only get shards for a specific collection. I think that would be really great, and make it cost 30,000 coins. So you're spending 10,000 coins for one shard. So it's triple the price, but you get to narrow in on the exclusiveness of the shards a lot. I think that would be a really, really good system to add into the game. Maybe these boxes could even rotate, so that way they have the aspect of FOMO. One collection every 3 days or something like that. 2 collections every 3 days. I don't know. There's different ways they could implement it that would make it good, but I think that it's a solid idea worth considering, having collection-specific boxes offered for season coins. Then obviously it gives a lot more incentive to buy season coins. I might buy more season coins if I could get a Frozen-specific box or a Lilo and Stitch-specific box. I just think it would be a really, really good system to have in the game. Into some different aspects of ways that you get shards before a racer or crew member is unlocked, we have regulated multiplayer. Now, for those of you who played in early access, you know how great regulated multiplayer used to be. You would get 10 shards for a character. It was pretty much like every week you would fully unlock a brand new racer, and it was super hype. And now regulated multiplayer kind of sucks. It's pretty lackluster, I'm not gonna lie. I skip regulated most weeks now because you get 3 shards for a racer, and that's it. And then you get 2 crew member shards and some upgrade parts and multiplayer coins and like a cosmetic or something. It's just, regulated multiplayer is not worth playing unless you like playing regulated, which is it's a fun mode, don't get me wrong. Everyone being on the same level, no crew members, it's a good concept. I like the idea of regulated. It's pretty competitive and fun, but the rewards they're not it. And also the way the leaderboard resets every week is just kind of bad too. I don't know. Regulated, it definitely just needs some improvements. And now the other main way is season or limited content, which is the majority of the way you're going to be unlocking racers. And I think they've handled it pretty well, with the exception of this season. Now, for one, I think the way you obtain season racers is almost perfect, and it has been perfect almost since the start of the game, So for those who don't know, we tend to have 4 to 5 characters every season. We've never had less or more than 4 or 5. And we always have one racer who is a premium character, which means you have to buy the Golden Pass for 990 tokens to unlock them from the Golden Pass, and you get a bunch of shards for them throughout the pass. And then you have your free racer, where you just get to tier 1 of the pass and you unlock a character for free. And I think this system is perfect. It's pretty easy to get 990 tokens just by grinding collection levels or ranked or something like that. And so having a character locked behind the Golden Pass is totally okay, especially considering they aren't actually locked, but I'll talk about that later. And then the free racer is obviously great. It's just a racer you get for free every season. And then we have the limited event racer, who might as well be a free racer. So like, for example, this season it was Hans. For last season it was Jafar. We have the Frozen Hearted Prince event, and this is great. It's basically another free racer as long as you have like a level 25 Frozen character, which if you don't have a level 25 Frozen character by the end of the season, you're definitely not an active player. And so it's another free racer, and they recently buffed this event too to give a lot more shards, which I think is great. And overall, it's a really, really solid event now. And then we normally have like a 4th racer who is in the season tour, which means you get like 2 shards for them every week. And I'm totally okay with that as long as you're actively playing through the season tour. You can get 2 shards for them. And we also have the opportunity to unlock all of these characters from the season box, and they have been giving out a lot of free season box shards, especially with the recent buff to XP this season and the buff to shards in the season box. Even if you don't complete the season tour and you don't buy the golden pass, or if you just don't play the game besides opening season boxes, you'll get all the characters unlocked pretty easily. Getting 10 shards for all the characters from the box, it's not much of a challenge anymore. In fact, it's pretty easy, and it's pretty nice that all the seasonal characters are really easy to unlock, and I think Disney Speedstorm has always handled it super well, and I'm really happy for that. Other ways of unlocking characters that have gotten definitely less favorable over the seasons, I think mid-season racers, we all saw this coming, we all know it's bad. The mid-season racers definitely need a rework. For those who don't know, in early access, the way it worked is we would have these time trial events, which we still have now, and the way these time trial events would work is that if you just played it, you would get 10 shards for the mid-season racer. This was for Figment, for Steamboat Pete, for Steamboat Mickey, for Minnie, and Daisy. If you just played the event, you would get 10 shards for the characters, and then the better you did, the more rewards, more shards you would get. And it was really, really nice and a fun competitive system where, you wanted to improve your time to get more shards, but if you didn't, it's all good. You'd still unlock the racer, but you were definitely rewarded for doing better than the other players. And now the way it's kind of devolved these past 2 seasons is that you need to be in the top 25 or top 20 or top 15, or I think the last event was top 15 to just get 10 shards for the characters. So now it's no longer fun competitiveness where you're playing to try and get more shards for the character. Now you're playing and you're trying to get into the cutthroat top 15. Only 15% of the player base is getting enough shards to unlock these mid-season racers, which I think is ridiculous. And again, I could talk about these mid-season racers for a whole nother hour-long video, and if you want to see that, let me know in the comments below, because I'll do it. I'll rant about them. It's not good. Mid-season racers have a lot of flaws in Disney Speedstorm, between the ways you get their shards, the ways you unlock them initially, the way you level them up, and the way they play in ranked multiplayer, all that stuff. They have a lot of flaws. Again, I could rant about it for a while, but these limited events are not good, and it's no longer a consistent way of getting racers unless you're really good at the game, or you play a ton, or you watch my guides. So be sure to subscribe so you can see my guides on how to get the mid-season racers easier. But no, I know my guides help, but still, you gotta be a good player to unlock these characters, which really does suck. And then now they're putting offers in the shop and gacha boxes to unlock them, and it's not good. However, the other way to unlock racers is limited events will pop up sometime. We had a Celia May one last season, we had a Figment one, we had a Hades one this season, and all these little limited events definitely add up over time, and they are really nice, and they're definitely going to be another main way that you unlock characters. And Star Chasers are a big thing too. I think Star Chasers kind of solve the issue of universal boxes. For those who don't know, the way Star Chasers used to work is that we would have an event for a character over a week, and you could get 10 shards for a character, or maybe a little bit more. However, now it's been nerfed, unfortunately, to only 7 shards, but I'm not going to complain that much, because 7 shards for a character is still a hefty amount of shards. It's not the worst amount ever, especially considering that pulling 3 shards for a single character from the universal box isn't nearly as big of a deal as 10. It's pretty doable if you've been playing for a couple seasons, especially. You should have at least 3 shards for every character, except for a small few that you're really unlucky with from the universal box. And I think most free-to-play players have started unlocking a vast majority of the roster with just an elusive few if you've been playing actively since the start of the Aladdin season, which I think is good. However, I would really like to see Star Chasers buffed back to 10 shards, because they feel so boring now. Is it just me? I don't get excited for Star Chasers. And again, this is another video I could talk about for a while, is the downfall of Star Chasers. I haven't played the last 5. They're pumping them out every week, and they're just not good. You get 3 epic upgrade materials, 3 shards for their epic crew members, and 7 shards and a bunch of terrible low upgrade materials. I don't know, they aren't fun. You don't even get season box credits from them anymore, which was the main reason I kept playing them after they were nerfed, and then they nerfed them more. I would much rather that we get a Star Chaser once a month, but it's exciting, than once a week, but it's just really bad like it is right now, because they just don't feel exciting. I'd much rather them be a fun event. And if that's the cost, is making them only come around once a month rather than every week, then so be it. I want them to be exciting and fun again, because like I can't make like content creation for me is a big deal, as I like events that I can make content on. So obviously all the time trials are great, but like no one's gonna watch a video if I make it about a Star Chaser. It's just they're not exciting. It's single player content for one, and two, it's just I don't know. They used to be like big events, like the Jesse Star Chaser came out for the first time. It was really hype, and then after that, Randall, but like I can get these epic upgrade materials and stuff. And I definitely liked the Star Chaser time trial cup, like in the Sully event. I thought that was really nice. Anyways, I'm getting super off topic and going into Star Chasers way more than I should, but the bottom line is that they're not a great way to unlock characters anymore, because you aren't getting 10 shards, but 7 shards is still solid. And overall, I'm mildly happy with the way that you unlock characters. There's definitely a lot of improvements to be made, especially in limited events and the mid-season racers, but overall, most free-to-play players having nearly the entire roster unlocked after 2 seasons is definitely solid, and I think the only thing they need to do more is make mid-season racers easier, buff Star Chasers, have more events like the Star Chasers and the Hades event, and just all these little random events. More stuff like that is great, and the shards in the season tour, especially the first couple chapters, were really exceptional, and I'm glad that Disney Speedstorm added all of those. Now, to go into sort of the last aspect of progression that I really want to dive into in today's video, I might talk about a few other small aspects, but crew member balancing. And this comes the inspiration for the title, the big idea that Disney Speedstorm needs to do to progression that would just be amazing, is a crew boost event. Before we talk about my idea for a crew boost event, let's talk about the way that crew members are obtained in the game, because it's way worse than racers. I think crew members definitely need some love, and this is another aspect where mid-season racers, their crew members are they're awful. It's really bad. But to start, again, universal boxes is the main way you're going to be getting crew members. However, epic crew members are extremely rare. You're not going to get epic crew members from universal boxes. Getting 10 shards, it's so unrealistic and so demanding. And the fact that Star Chasers don't give out more than 5 shards for epic crew members anymore just totally throws out all hopes of getting them from universal boxes. Pretty much the only way you're going to consistently be getting crew members is, 1, you get the common ones from universal boxes pretty easily. 2, every now and again there'll be limited events that give out crew members or regulated multiplayers. And 3, the main way you're going to get crew members is season boxes, is the current season. Getting the crew members for the current season is pretty easy, if I do say so myself. So like next season, getting all the Little Mermaid crew members shouldn't be too hard if you just play actively. Getting all the Frozen crew members should not be hard this season if you've played actively. It should be easy to get all the Frozen crew members. And that's how it's been for me, is because I've been playing since day 1, I have a pretty stacked crew member roster. However, I have heard of free-to-play players who started when the game went free-to-play in the Aladdin season, and they are struggling for a variety of different reasons that mainly stem from the fact that they didn't play during the Monsters Inc., the Toy Story, and the Lilo and Stitch seasons, and so they do not have good crew members for these collections, which is a totally valid point, and it really sucks how difficult it really is to get some of those past season crew members. I think it's really bad, and something that definitely needs to be addressed in Disney Speedstorm is unlocking past season crew members. Maybe because having Star Chasers for crew members isn't nearly as exciting. Like I was talking about Star Chasers being a big event. Having a Star Chaser for a specific crew member would be really rough. I don't exactly know how they should implement it better, but I don't know. I just feel like getting crew members for previous seasons is really bad. And then also what's exceptionally or equally as bad, maybe a little bit better, is getting crew member shards after you have a crew member unlocked. Now, obviously, we still have the universal boxes and all the ways that you could unlock a crew member, season boxes, all that stuff to level them up, which again is really good for the specific season crew members, Little Mermaid, Frozen, if you're playing that season, not for the past seasons though. And then you have the daily shop, I think, is the other main way. Just like racers though, it's really hard to get specific crew members you want. Like, I've been hunting Duck Family shards for 3 seasons now, and I think I've gotten 30 to 50 from the daily shop, and I still need like another 180 something to max out the Duck Family, so it's gonna take a while. Granted, you get more the higher level they are, but still, getting them from the daily shop is not super consistent and definitely a system that needs to be improved. However, my solution to this is add a crew member boost event. Now, how would a crew member boost event work? Well, I think it should work exactly like the racer boost event. Obviously, they could lay it out a little differently. Like, the way I picture it, you click on Crew Boost. It's an event that's just, it's always there, just like the Racer Boost event. And then you have a page with all the collections. It looks exactly like the collection menu, maybe. And within it, it still has the number of how many things you have collected, except the racers aren't included. So, like, for Mulan, it says, like, 8 instead of 10. You know, it takes out the 2 racers. And the same would go for every other collection. Hercules would be 11 or something like that, and I think that you should be able to click on it, and then it would show you all the crew members that you have unlocked or not unlocked yet for a specific collection, and then you can select any crew member that you have unlocked, epic, rare, common, doesn't matter. And then you go into a race playing as a specific racer from that collection, and you try and complete objectives to get a certain amount of crew member shards for that specific crew member. And this could work in a variety of different ways. So again, the way I picture it is if you pick like a common racer from a collection, then it gives you can pick any racer from that collection. So if I pick, for example, let me just take a look. Like, I'm just going to use the Hercules collection, for example. If I pick Hera, if I want to level up Hera for some reason, then I can click on her in the Crew Boost event, and I can pick from Hades, Meg, or Hercules if I have one of them unlocked, and complete some of the objectives in order to get Hera shards. And then, if I were to pick Zeus or Phil, who are rare crew members, the same thing would apply. But if I clicked on Pegasus, I would have to play as Hercules. So if you are training a epic crew member in the Crew Boost event, you'd obviously have to play with that specific racer. And just like the Racer Boost event, you would have to play with your specific character. So, and you would have to have them unlocked as well, just like the Racer Boost event. So you'd have to have them unlocked, you'd have to play with a character from that collection, and if it's epic, you'd have to play with their specific corresponding racer. And now, what would be a fair volume of shards to get? Personally, I would obviously lean on the generous side, but I think for epic crew members, 3 shards every go. I think for rare, 5 shards every go, and for common, 7 shards. I don't know, maybe that's too much, but like the way I see it is for the common ones, there's 3 objectives. You get 2 shards for the character for each one, and you have 1 bonus objective that gives you 1 shard. And then for the rare crew members, you have 3 objectives that give you 1 shard each, and then a bonus that gives you 2 maybe. And then for the epic one, you have 1 objectives that gives you 1 each, and then a bonus of like 1,000 season coins maybe. Or maybe just no bonus at all. I don't know, maybe something like that. Obviously, the numbers could be tweaked however they were. I'm sure that if Gameloft made it, it would be like 1 epic crew member shard, just because that's what Gameloft does. And it's probably more balanced for the economy that way, only getting 1 epic crew member shard each go around. But honestly, just any way to farm specific crew member shards, I think would be super welcome, and a Crew Boost event is what Disney Speedstorm needs. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, I think progression is in a much better spot than it was six months ago. And I think outside of the crazy season tour objectives and the terrible mid-season racers and the diminishing returns on limited events, I think progression is in a great spot. And those are easy to fix, just buff rewards on limited events and fix the crazy missions in the season tour. And progression is in a significantly better spot. And it's practically perfect after that, in my opinion. However, the one thing that is missing is a way to farm crew member shards. Like I just mentioned, farming crew member shards is non-existent currently outside of the daily shop, which is getting more and more inconsistent every season. And so I think adding a crew boost event is really something that Disney Speedstorm needs and would be super beneficial to the game. And then obviously a way to unlock epic crew members for characters we don't have. I don't think I'm ever going to unlock the muses. I'm at 4 out of 10 shards after 5 seasons of very actively playing this game. I don't know, maybe a crew boost event where you can farm shards before you have a crew member unlocked? I don't know. Honestly, that's pushing it a little bit. I think my version would be fine, but they gotta give me ways to unlock the muses, and whoever Donald's epic crew member is, all these characters, because, you know, Star Chasers are only giving 3 now, so even if Meg got a Star Chaser, I still wouldn't have the muses unlocked, which is kind of ridiculous. And I'm not spending my season coins on Universal boxes that much anymore, because I'm trying to buy shards for like Aladdin and Duck Family and all these epic crew members, because there's no way to farm crew member shards. So it's kind of like a big cycle, you know? There's no way to get epic crew member shards, so I want a crew boost event, but a crew boost event would mean that I have to spend less season coins on the crew members I already have, and then I could spend more on universal boxes. You know, like, the problems solve themselves. I think the cycle could all be fixed with a crew boost event, in my opinion. I think it would just be so good for the game, and I really hope we see some way to farm crew member shards in the community pit stop. I'm really excited to see what Season 6 brings for Disney Speedstorm. And let me know if you guys enjoyed this style of video. Obviously, I have a lot more to talk about. I haven't talked about core gameplay, you know, racer skills, racer balancing, different game modes they could add, different characters they could add. That'd be a more fun, lighthearted one. There's a lot of stuff I could talk about. Let me know in the comments below, what do you want to see me talk about? Do you want to see me talk like this again? I don't know. I kind of just ranted for like the past 45 minutes or so about Disney Speedstorm's progression system. But yeah, I thought it was fun, and I think it's nice to share my opinion and discuss with you guys in the comments below different aspects of progression and stuff. And again, let me know, what do you guys want to see me discuss next, because I will definitely be listening to your guys' feedback, and I'm just really curious to hear. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you got this far, huge props to you. I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will catch you all in the next video. Peace out.